see the countdown in a second here. Hello, Dan. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm good, Pia. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so Dan Edwards is a realtor with Eastside Real Estate, and he's going to talk about marketing because I heard you love marketing. Like
Yep.
you have fun with marketing, right?
Yeah, it is. I love it so much that I have one person on my team dedicated to executing my crazy ideas.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
need that kind of person. So we are going to get into a little bit about marketing, marketing a house because I'm curious about it in this day and age. But most importantly, we're talking to business owners that don't have deep pockets or they don't have a lot of time. So I want to hear from you what you've done that's successful in marketing your real estate company, and also maybe some mistakes to avoid. Let's start there. Like, what are some things in the beginning that you did that you're like, oh, Dan?
Yeah, I would say, okay, so starting with mistakes, let me point out the number one mistake that I think a lot of people make. Oh, did you want to? It said something like it wasn't recording me because of something. Because
Yeah. It
you're
says
recording.
you have to refresh can you hit refresh and see what happens?
Oh, I think I know what's happening. Hold on a second.
Okay.
How about now?
Hello. Looks good now, and we can always edit it. Can you say something real quick?
Testing 1, 2, 3, siblings.
Okay, you're all good. Thank God for editing, right? Okay, just tell me what you've done wrong. Give me all the juicy tips.
Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to marketing, think of it as concentric circles. So there's that center concentric circle, which are people who know you, right? And then you can kind of expand that to people you've met and maybe even done business with. And then you expand that to people you've just met at a networking event, and then expand that to the World Wide Web. Right. And I had this drawn on a piece of paper by my managing broker, Brian Levitt. And he said most businesses spend all this money to market to that outside concentric ring, which is actually costly and it has a low return on investment. So if you actually can spend your time and effort intently on that center concentric circle, the returns are better. So work from the center out. That was the biggest mistake because I've spent thousands of dollars on stuff to reach hundreds of thousands of people to see nothing come of it. So if you're going to spend thousands of dollars, spend it on the ones like me. Spend it on me. No, I'm just joking. But spend it on the ones that make the most sense.
That is a huge takeaway. And
Yeah.
I've been guilty of this myself because we're entrepreneurs and inherently we are always after the next thing, right? We're after close the next client and all that stuff. So, but then
Yeah, it's about the shiny object of marketing, and
Yeah.
there's lots of them out there.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is what you're trying to accomplish, whether it's a small business or a solopreneur or even medium-sized business and even large businesses, is Mindshare. So when you think of marketing, do you think of Pia Larson and Fingerprint marketing, right? When you think of real estate, do you think of the Eastside Real Estate team, right? That the goal is to own that Mindshare in as many people as possible. And I would say this too, is that you can't ignore that outside concentric ring. Okay.
Right.
You can't ignore it, but you need to budget appropriately.
So tell me what so that's the mistake that you did early on.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do now? So how do you nurture this smaller circle?
Well, I think for everybody, it's going to be different. And so I think take some time to think about who you like to spend your time with. And I mean that in who you like to serve. We've all had clients and customers that were like, thank God that's over, right? Mm-hmm. It just wasn't fun. It didn't feel great. And we've all had the clients that are like, oh my gosh, that is amazing. That was so much fun. I want more like that, right? So think about those people and then find out where they're hanging out, where they're spending their time. Go hang out, spend time with them. Grab them. Here's a great idea: is find them, say, listen, I've built an advisory board, and I'd like to invite you to my advisory board luncheon.
Ooh.
Take 5 of them out to lunch. Take your biggest marketing challenge, and ask them to solve it for you.
Ooh, that's interesting. Wow. So how would that look? I mean, what would you ask them? What's a good example of marketing?
Well, okay, you could ask them. I'm looking to help sell more houses to folks like you.
Yeah.
What was it about the Eastside Real Estate team that got you excited about working with us?
Oh, okay.
What could we have done better?
Yeah.
What would you tell your friends? The thing that you're going to get some good takeaways, and you're building great relationships. And really, that's how you really own that mind share, is great relationships. See, a lot of people don't know how you get your business. They just assume it shows up on your doorstep. And because they did, right? So they just think, oh, that's cool. Dan's got another client. Look at him. He's doing real estate. I bet Keller Williams gives him all kinds of potential home buyers and home sellers. They don't know that it's actually all our engine of reaching out and sharing and telling stories. That's a whole nother great idea, is telling stories.
Yeah, interviewing your clients and getting the stories, especially in your industry. There's some great stories of, families coming together with, buying their first house or moving to their dream house or something like that. You said a couple things, like relationship building is huge, right? So, it's not just one transaction. You never know who that person is going to refer you to in the future. And again, Mindshare. So keeping in touch. So having a list, right? Our list is very important. It's the gold.
Well, the kind of the ugly underbelly of marketing is that if you want to grow to the level that you see exponential success, you got to be organized. You have to have people, and you have to categorize them in your database. So your book of business, Pia, I'll ask you, where is it located? What CRM or client relationship management system do you use?
I use Active Campaign, and I have automations, so I know when to follow up and have categories of what type of clients they are. But I'm in marketing, so that sounds like a lot of work for someone in a different industry. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I say, yes, it is a lot of work. And here's a great story. One of my clients, before I was in real estate, was actually my next door neighbor in a business. I ran a business that did computer hardware and software distribution. And there was a group of guys next door that did freezer systems. And so we'd have lunch and joke around and talk with them. And so I left that business to get into real estate. And I added Paul to my database. And back in those days, it wasn't that long ago, but 15 years ago, I had a newsletter in the mail that went out, and it was, envelope.
What?
Yeah, in the mail. It was weird. So that went out every month, like in the mail with a little letter introduction every mail. So about 3 years into this deal, I call Paul up, because there's the follow-up. You need to call up and say, hey, Paul, it's Dan. How you doing? How's the family? How's work? Have you guys done anything fun lately? Because you couldn't look on Facebook all the time and see what everybody else was doing. And some people still don't broadcast everything they're doing on Facebook. So just having that conversation. And he says, hey, Dan, when, I'm getting these letters, they're nice. When are they going to stop? And I said, Paul, if they stop, I'm out of business. So you'll know I'm not selling real estate anymore.
Yeah.
And I would say maybe 2 years after that, we pivoted to MailChimp, online email, newsletter, which I send 2 a month. And more emails come to your inbox than just those 2, because I have other things that go as well. Right. But the idea is that Mindshare is constant. Now, he bought a condo from me in 2008.
Yeah.
And, the newsletter had pivoted online, my phone calls every quarter coming into him just as a hello. We didn't always talk. A couple of years might have gone by without a conversation. And in 2018, he called me up and he said, it's time to sell my Redmond home. We're moving to Gig Harbor. So that was 10 years later, right? Wow. So to those out there that are struggling with, well, I'm just a small business, I can't get organized. Maybe there's somebody that can help you. There might be some services out there, and Pia, you may be aware of some of them that can help you organize your database. Mm-hmm. But just know if you're not marketing this is how I tell real estate agents this. So you may be reluctant to call your friends and family and ask them if they know of anybody buying, selling, or investing in real estate. But if you don't market to them, I will.
I'm going to steal that. That's awesome.
So if you're if you're in a business and maybe it's a widget shop or maybe it's a gym or maybe it's a chocolate factory, whatever it is, if you don't market to them, your competition is. So if it's just a hello, here's what we did this month, fine. But you've got to own that mind share because that's what marketing is about. It's about that brand recognition.
Yeah, and so just as your story denotes, you've got to be consistent, right? Mm-hmm. I have people that come back to me after 5 years. I didn't know they were reading my emails, and they say, I'm ready after 5 years. So consistently sending out, and it doesn't have to be a newsletter. It can be just a check-in or anything like that.
Well, in the buy cycle, for folks in your business in marketing, it's going to change. People are going to go, okay, well, we had a firm that was doing it, or we were trying to do it, or we just got overwhelmed. So you never know where they're at. For a home cycle, it's probably every 5 to 7 years. I think it was 7 to 10 during the downturn. And so if you think of is it parabola, the little sine wave? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Where they're at in the transaction, where your consumer is at in the transaction varies by when they intersect with your message. So while those emails are coming in, they might be, not even thinking about, or use a hair salon, right? They just got their hair cut, yet they're still getting the coupon for a cut and color. Well, it doesn't mean that's not an effective use of marketing. It just means that they're not ready for a cut and color. So if you were to stop then sending out that ad about your salon services, now they're going to the next ad that they see at the right time. So
that's so true. It's all about timing. You got to be there when they need you.
Yep.
That's amazing. So what are some misconceptions that you've seen small businesses have around marketing? What are some of the objectives that?
Oh, yeah. I think the biggest misconception is that we have all the business we need.
I know. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
I get the same thing. It's like, I get all my referrals from word of mouth. Well, that's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What happens?
Yeah. Well, and I think then if you have all the business you can handle, then you haven't scaled your business to handle more business. And that's that could be an absolute personal choice. There are some folks that are happy with that. I can tell you from a standpoint of the misconception is that there's going to be something that comes up at some point where you're going to need more business. And if that was if you didn't scale the business for you to be in the business, let's just say, for example, because that's the case. A lot of trades I know have all the business they can handle because they are the person that does the work and the marketing. And if they did more marketing, they'd have to do more work, right? So, so I think that's just I made an effort. I think it was 2014 where I said I'm going to go from Dan, the individual real estate agent, to the team, to a team concept, to where I don't have to be the one that is pulling all the levers of industry to make success. And I think that's just kind of a choice. So, the conversation I would have with that person is, so if you stop working, what happens? That would be my question. If you were to stop working or stop marketing, what happens? And maybe that was an answer that they needed, or a question they needed to have, because you don't have to actually have more business, but you do want to have sustainable business. And marketing is about sustainable business. It's about peaks and valleys. So, yeah.
I noticed when you went to that team model, and I was very impressed because whenever I see a team, I know that if I can't reach you, I can reach someone on your team, and it just feels like I have more. You have more power to do what I need you to do, and it's just more professional, I think.
Yeah, and what we're talking about here, with, as far as misconceptions are concerned, are like, is marketing everything, and it's not. Operations should definitely be a part of your consideration if you are a small business that wants to grow and or stabilize, because the valleys will come, and if you're not prepared for it, then that's how a lot of small businesses go out of business.
So real estate is it's a challenging market because it's so crowded. And there's so much noise. What are some things that you do for your business that you found that works really well?
It's a good question. I think, sorry, my phone. I think from a standpoint of differentiation and how you can be something that that is, I want to say, unique, it actually comes from the relationships. So understanding that the process of buying and selling a home is one that is complex. Mm-hmm. More than complex, it's filled with emotion, right? So if you're selling the family home for 20, 30 years, I think there's a lot of memories that come up that it's not just a transaction. I think the team concept is a big deal because I cannot be everything to everyone, and I can't be everywhere at once. So to make sure that things in a complex transaction don't fall apart, it's important to have other parties that are helping me carry that load. It's leveraging the strengths of each individual for the commonality of the client, right? Mm. So the caring, the attention to detail, the expertise, the negotiations, all of those things coming together, I think is our value proposition, is what we offer. And a kick-ass managing broker.
You'll pay them later. So you have a radio
Yep.
show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And tell me what else you're doing to market the business.
Yeah, so the radio show is a dual purpose, and that is, one, focusing on what's happening in real estate on the east side in Seattle, mm-hmm. On the Seattle's greater east side. So that's part of it. The other part of it is showcasing local businesses on the east side. So the whole idea there is to provide consumers, people new to the area, with great people that can provide them with, anything from chiropractic work to restaurants, Brazilian restaurants, to we've got a fantastic gal, Kathleen, that's NWK9 Coalition, right? So if you need a dog, right? So we sell you a house and the dog. It's kind of cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, she's a client of ours. That's awesome. Yeah, so you're being a community cheerleader and connecting people that way, which obviously builds goodwill, and you have that Mindshare, and they feel favorable towards you. What are some other things that you're doing? Like, do you do any text messaging? I know you have an email newsletter.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so we have what's called a 36 touch program. So I'm going to
36 touch.
I'm going to give you open the kimono here for you. Okay, wow. It says for the love of real estate. That's what it says. So the 36 touch campaign is for the people that we want to. I'll put it this way: be in partnership with, because honestly, you're not just going to buy or sell a house. We want you to be a part of our community, and we want to share our community with you. The 36 touch program. And any business can implement this. It starts with 2 emails a month. That's 24 touches right there. 4 phone calls a year for conversations, connections. A holiday card during the holidays. 4th of July. We always have actually we pivoted this winter. We usually have a thank you, a client appreciation party for our community. And we'll have beer and pizza at a local brewery and just gather and have a good time. This year, we actually sponsored a family that was run into hard times through no fault of their own, we partnered with an organization called the Best Christmas Ever. So we actually do that in concert with our people now in the winter. That's what we're going to do in the fall. So that's this last year, due to COVID, we weren't able to gather. So instead we did this virtual gathering, and so that was cool. And then I think we have our lunch and learn programs. So where we're trying to bring knowledge of local businesses directly to other businesses. And what else? And then our podcasts. So, I mean, that's way more than 36 touches, but that's the touch means an outreach to somebody in our community.
Yeah. And I think most businesses don't realize how many touches you really need to stay top of mind. Right?
Yeah. Don't even get me started. I didn't even mention all the stuff we do on social media.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention all the posts and stuff that are constantly going out there. Yeah.
Yeah, so you really do need a team. I mean, whether that's a VA or a marketing person or outsourcing it to an agency, it's a lot of work, but it's important. It's an investment. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think, I know the stuff that Fingerprint Marketing does for clients. And that's right along the lines of, if I didn't have somebody in-house, I would want to make sure that I had somebody like you that understood all those spots to be found. Because the touch program is one, but then you have a funnel, right? So you picture your business as a funnel, and you want to fill that funnel at the top. That funnel is the people on the outside of that concentric circle. And you start filling them in. And some people are like, I hate this guy, Dan. I don't want to be a part of his network. Burp, and they pop out. But we just keep adding more to the people that kind of like me or think like me or sort of like me, even don't like me, but want to buy a house and want my help. I don't have to be liked. I can help you.
Yeah, so at the beginning of this COVID thing, we reached out to our list of past clients and, prospects, and just asked them how we can help, because obviously brick and mortar businesses, other restaurants, people that couldn't see people in person. And it was overwhelming how much they were like, yes, we need to get messaging out there about COVID. We need your help updating the website and all that. But having that, and I didn't do it to increase business necessarily. I just felt like I needed to offer help. Like, what can we do? Mm-hmm. So just having that mindset of being of service to people, I think, is super important. And you're also in BNI, right? You're in the business networking group BNI. If you haven't heard of them, they're great. They're an international organization, and just keeping physically top of mind too, right?
Yeah, this actually stemmed, BNI and most of my marketing philosophy stemmed from that idea of reciprocity, where most people that do what they do well, you want to help their business succeed. And my grandfather, self-made man, he started by selling, newspapers in the late 20s, and grew to owning a truck stop, and basically has obviously been retired for, I don't know, better part of 40 years. And he was always saying, hey, yeah, that bread truck over there, that's a great deal. He was always looking at entrepreneurism. And so I really enjoyed his perspective. And I always see things that way. Like, what can you take something that you're passionate about and turn it into bread for your family, honestly. So when I looked at growing my network, or people that would know who Dan is from a real estate perspective, I started with local businesses, because that gets me excited. I can get in. I could talk with you all day, Pia, about marketing and businesses and how to grow.
Well, I don't know where to go. No.
I don't have an MBA. But I know people who have one, so I could ask them the hard question. The MBA.
But you obviously have a passion, which is what entrepreneurs have, right?
Yeah.
They have that passion. But they also have to be really good at what they do. You can market the heck out of your business, but if you don't have anything to follow that up, right? So it's important that you said working on the operations and your processes and your team, and all that. What would you say to someone just entering the real estate market? Like, they're brand new.
Run away. I'm just kidding.
Run fast.
Forrest, run. Yeah, I would say treat it like a job.
Okay.
Force yourself into a schedule.
Oh, that's good.
95% of the people, I teach classes to agents that are starting in the business. And I always like to go around the room and say, hey, why'd you get in the business? Tell me what you, and every single one of them says flexible hours, unlimited income. True story. Flexible. It is 90%, right? What they don't understand about flexible hours means which 4 hours of the day do you get to sleep, right?
Right. Exactly.
And
Freedom
the,
comes with a cost, doesn't
the
it?
unlimited income can go the other direction too.
Yep.
And they do that because what they don't realize is the strength of the opportunity is also the weakness. Just like for all of us, like some
Say
people
that
are.
again. I like that. The strength of the opportunity is also the weakness.
Yeah, the strength of the opportunity is also the weakness. There are people out there, I'm not one of them, who are gregarious people. Like they're in your face, super gregarious. That helps them in sales positions, but it also puts them off in social situations, right? So we all have these strengths in our lives. Some people are able to just immensely focus on something, but they're also antisocial, right? So it's not, and I would say they're not strengths or weaknesses. They are your attributes, right? So from a business standpoint, the opportunity with entrepreneurism and in real estate is that unlimited income. So you better be prepared for the converse. And in order to prepare for that, you can't do anything about your outcomes, especially if you're new. You walk into a listing presentation and you say, I want to sell your $2 million house. And the guy goes, you've got no experience. Get out of my house. Well, you can't control that. But you can certainly control your approach before you get there. So the next time you show up, I want to sell your $2 million house. And here's the skill set that I have to do that. And they say, you haven't sold any $2 million house. And you say, I know, but I have several people behind me that I can go to that have, right? So they've learned to understand their weakness and rely on that. So if you're new in the business, two things. I'm looking for new people to join our team.
Oh, perfect.
So I'd be happy to take you under the wing and teach you this. And then frickin' make a schedule and stick to it.
Yeah.
So many people, they make that schedule and they're like, today I called 5 people and talked to one and I got an opportunity for a listing. And so I'm going to stop calling people versus, oh no, I was supposed to call people all the way until 4:00 today.
Yeah. Live by your calendar. What does your calendar look like?
Well, you saw it when you tried to book me, right? It's like,
Yeah.
everything's on my calendar. So today, let's see, what's today? Today I had a meeting at 9:00 with my team, and then from 9 until 10:30 had new features training on our technology, and then I had an interview with a new agent on our team, and then here now, and then after this I have my follow-up calls, and then client updates, and then I have new lead generation at 3:00 and happy hour at 4.
Wow. Where's happy hour? I'll join you.
I don't know. It's just on my calendar.
That's
Oh,
so
it doesn't
funny.
say where. I don't know. I guess it's a
well, the thing-
surprise.
Well, the thing I like about that is you're actually not just appointments with people, right? You're making appointments with yourself to
Yeah.
do follow-up calls and everything. And it's such, people think, oh, I'll do it when I have time. You're never going to have time.
Well, the trick, Pia, to that is honor it. Honor that appointment. If it's on your
Yeah.
calendar to do client follow-up, do the client follow-up.
Yeah. So,
And I think too, I mean, we're all social creatures. So it helps to have people surrounding you to do that. And I got to tell you, I've seen so many agents come into this business with a lot of excitement and enthusiasm and ideas, and they just don't do the hard work to last. And I got to tell you, there's, like you said earlier, there's a lot of real estate agents. I mean, I could walk out of my house, throw a rock, and hit 3. And so the competition is. I won't. I mean, there's a few I might want to like kick the mirrors off their cars, but I won't mention their names. Just kidding. I'm not violent at all. But the truth is, there is a lot of competition. So you have to be on your A game just to get a listing or just to get the opportunity. So if you're thinking about getting in the business, like I said, I'm happy to coach anybody joining my team on how to be successful and accountable. And we would like to add 3 agents this year to the team.
So that would make how many?
That would make, that would double our team. Well, not over double our team because we've got 4 right now.
Wow. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
if you guys are listening and interested in real estate, talk to Dan. And Dan, where can people find you and get a hold of you?
Yeah, so you can go to the eastsiderealestateteam.com and all our information's there. You can call me, at 425-200-4093, 425-200-4093, or find us on Facebook, the eastsiderealestateteam.com or Eastside Real Estate Team. I dare you to not be able to find me.
Challenge accepted. Yeah, and what I know about Dan is I've known him for several years, and he's just willing and able to help any and everyone. Like he's full of great advice, and he walks the talk. So Dan, thank you for joining me. This has been great. And
Oh yeah, and my free giveaway.
oh yeah, and if anyone's interested in having lunch with Dan to kind of pick his brain, he is offering 1 hour lunch, sit down, one-on-one. So go ahead and email him and he'll pick a winner.
Yeah, lunch is on me.
Yeah.
Dan.edwards@kw.com.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Pia.